Uh, yes, I had to listen to this. I had to listen to this, and this was absolute garbage. Absolutely garbage. Endless trash this album was. Endless trash. So, what is the damage on this one? Here is the track listing and the track ratings. Mr. Blood and Guts is probably the best song off the album because it is the shortest. And Ill Wishes is one of the worst songs I have ever listened to. It is one of the worst songs, and maybe the worst song that has been made this year so far. Let me just get one thing out of the way that is absolutely undeniable. The only good thing about this album, the one thing that is absolutely undeniable, and is something that I am actually impressed. If you remember from my Haunted review, I criticized the album for its poorly done and poorly timed guitar solos. This album, this time, all the guitar solos are actually properly done. Okay, well, except for, I think it was the self-titled track, but almost every single guitar solo was properly done. This album is just like a box of cereal, but instead of cereal, you have a bunch of thumbtacks and rusted nails. But the properly done guitar solos are the marshmallows. Now, time to rip apart this album. Let's start with the vocals. I'd say the vocals from Chris Barnes are subpar at best. Not good, but not absolutely terrible. Mediocre, 4 out of 10 vocals. The lyrics are absolute garbage. A quarter of the lyrics of almost every single song are basically just repeating the title all over and over and over and over again. The drums on this album sound absolutely terrible. It's not the drumming itself. The drumming itself is alright, but it sounds absolutely terrible, especially the snare drum. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of sounded like a snare drum. It sounded absolutely terrible. The bass playing is alright, but it can't really save how bad this album is. Again, if you go back to my Haunted review, the 6 Feet Under Haunted review, I did say that the bass playing and the self-titled song were the two saving graces of this album. You know this album is absolutely terrible when something good from your very first album cannot save your newest album that is still a piece of garbage. And also, I was really confused if this is just plain death metal sometimes, especially in the beginning and especially near the end of this album, where I felt like, wait, am I listening to alternative metal? Post-metal? Thrash metal? Groove metal? Standard death metal? And don't even get me started. Just don't even get me started on Ill Wishes. Like I said, Ill Wishes might be one of the worst songs, and maybe the worst song that was made this year. It is a power ballad, which is an absolute slap in the face after listening to the first 41 minutes of some of the worst metal music you could possibly hear. And you have a power ballad on top of all of that. What is this? Limp Bizkit's Results May Vary? And not to mention, the song just straight up ends. Like, the song just straight up ends like that abruptly. I had to scroll back on the song like 3 times. I had, in my Amazon Music, I had to press the playback button 3 times to realize that the song just straight up ends. So the production in this album was absolutely god awful. Like, good lord, this was absolutely awful. The production in this album is absolutely awful, and I want to know what the heck went on behind the scenes of this album. Because if you have a song in your final, if your song, if the final song of your album just straight up ends with no explanation, no perfect, like, big ol' explosive finale to the song, even if the song is a power ballad, then there must have been something that went on. So, obviously, I am slamming this with another X mark of Do Not Listen for 6 Feet Under, and a light to a decent 2. The moral of the story today is to never listen to anything from 6 Feet Under. And no, please, nobody recommend me Nightmares of the Decomposed. Shut up, Alex. I am absolutely going to lose my mind if anybody actually does that. Like, please, no one do that. No one do that for my own sanity. Nobody recommend me Nightmares of the Decomposed, let alone any 6 Feet Under album. Anything involving 6 Feet Under. So please do not recommend me anything involved with 6 Feet Under. So, yeah, if you have any recommendations for albums or EPs besides 6 Feet Under, please, for the love of God, comment down below. Maybe I might take a look at it. Maybe I might do a review on it. Make sure you like, subscribe. Please send this video to a friend. Please. I want this to be worth it. I want to get like more than 10 views on this video because this better be worth it. My suffering must better be worth it. So, like, subscribe, send this video to a friend. Goodbye.